outlet covers. If a cover plate of an outlet or switch feels warm to the touch, turn the switch off or unplug electrical cords from the outlet. This may be a sign of an unsafe wiring condition. Have an electrician check the wiring as soon as possible. The grounding feature provided by 3-pronged plugs and 3-holed receptacles is a safety feature designed to reduce the risk of shock. Never remove the grounding prong. If your outlet does not have 3 holes, use an adapter to connect a 3-pronged plug and make sure that the ground wire or tab is correctly attached to the outlet. Electrical cords should not be covered by rugs, carpets, or any other material that can become fuel for a fire. Never attach electrical cords to walls or baseboards with nails or staples. A staple or nail can puncture or damage wire insulation, which is used to isolate one wire from another. If you find a cord that is frayed or cracked, replace it immediately. Extension cords are designed for temporary use and should not be used inside ceilings or run through windows, walls, floors, or doors, where they can deteriorate unnoticed. Extension cords that are designed for interior use are not weather resistant and should not be used outdoors. Do not overload an extension cord. It can overheat and become a fire hazard. Never piggyback extension cords. Power strips can be convenient to use when multiple appliances are needed in the same location. If you use a power strip, be sure it is UL listed and has a built-in circuit breaker that cuts off electricity to the power strip when it becomes overloaded. Light bulbs generate heat. Ceiling fixtures, recessed lights, and hooded lamps trap and retain heat. If the wrong type of bulb is used, or one with a higher wattage than recommended, the light bulb and its fixture can overheat and start a fire. Use a bulb of no more than 60 watts if you cannot determine the correct wattage bulb for a particular fixture. Halogen lamps generate much more heat than standard incandescent light bulbs. To avoid starting a fire, do not use halogen lamps in areas where wind could cause curtains or any combustible material to come in contact with the bulb. Most modern appliances are safe to use and will not cause a fire if you follow a few simple precautions. Appliances that are not in use should be unplugged. When you need to use the appliance, insert the plug completely into the outlet before turning it on. Avoid leaving appliances on overnight. Do not try to repair an appliance yourself. Poking utensils or other objects into an appliance, such as a toaster or hairdryer, can cause a shock or ignite a fire. Keep appliances away from sink areas and hot surfaces. If you see smoke or smell an unusual odor coming from an appliance, unplug it immediately and call a qualified repair person to inspect it and repair it. Clothes dryer vent hoses accumulate lint and should be inspected and cleaned twice a year. Heat buildup could spark a fire in the hose or dryer. All vents should be directed to the outside. An iron that is turned on and left unattended could pose a fire hazard. If you're caring for someone who is forgetful, consider purchasing an iron with an automatic shutoff.
Well, the primary difference between natural gas and propane is the fact that natural gas is lighter than air, so natural gas will ultimately rise and dissipate. Propane, on the other hand, is heavier than air and it will settle down at the floor level. Both natural gas and propane, an odorant is added so that you can smell if there is a leak in your home. The other factor is you might hear gas escaping if you have a leak. Well, the odor actually in both cases smells a lot like rotten eggs, but if you're not sure what that odor is, you might contact your provider and find out if they can at least provide you with a sample of what that odor might smell like.
All propane tanks and cylinders have a main shutoff valve. Be sure you know where this shutoff valve is located and how to use it. Portable propane tanks should not be stored or used in the home.
Well, natural gas is safe, but to keep it safe, it's important that you, your family, and any caregivers that you have coming into your home are aware of certain basic precautions. So if you smell or hear natural gas, you have to keep in mind that gas mixed with air and exposed to a spark can be combustible. So don't light any matches, don't smoke, Don't turn on any electrical switches or use the telephone or do anything else that's going to cause a spark. Also, open any doors to the outside or any windows to allow fresh air in and the gas to escape. Then evacuate the home of anyone that's there. And go to the neighbors and call the utility from their phone. And keep people out of the home until the utility tells you that it's safe to go back in.
Alarm units that detect gas are available wherever you can buy a smoke alarm. A pilot light is a constant burning flame that is fueled by gas. The pilot light eliminates the need to manually light the appliance. Though most pilot lights are protected by a shield, you should still protect the pilot light from drafts and litter. Do not store combustible liquids or materials near or on top a gas appliance. A pilot light could ignite any flammable material. Keep your gas appliances reliable and safe by having them inspected and cleaned once a year by a qualified service professional. Do not use space heaters in areas of high traffic such as hallways. Someone could trip over it, causing a fire or a burn. Never leave a space heater on unattended, such as when sleeping or when no one is home. Some space heaters have safety features, such as an automatic shutoff and a high-temperature limiting device. Flammable materials such as bedding, draperies, rugs, furniture, and flammable liquids should be kept at least 3 feet away from space heaters. Gas and kerosene space heaters use oxygen to operate and release carbon monoxide. Be sure to leave a window open to provide proper ventilation in order to prevent carbon monoxide poisoning. Carbon monoxide detectors are available for use with these types of heaters. And never refuel a space heater while it is running. Creosote buildup in a stovepipe or chimney can ignite and cause a flue fire. You can reduce creosote buildup by burning seasoned wood rather than freshly cut wood. Having the stove, stovepipe, or chimney cleaned yearly will also reduce the chance of a flue fire. Do not overload stoves or fireplaces with wood. This can cause excessive creosote buildup from smoldering wood. Combustible materials such as towels, drapes, and newspapers should be kept away from stoves and fireplaces. If a stovepipe or chimney fire should start, close off the air supply and call 911 or emergency services. Use a screen around the fireplace to keep jumping embers from landing on the floor or rug. When cleaning out a fireplace or wood stove, place the ash and embers in a metal container and put them outside on a fireproof surface. Tree branches should be at least 10 feet away from the stovepipe or chimney. Kerosene, gasoline, paint thinners, and other volatile materials should be stored in clearly marked sealed containers. Use metal containers for storage of mops, dust rags, gloves, painting equipment, and other oily supplies. Store all flammable liquid and supplies outside of the home or garage away from sunlight or any other heat source. Whenever you have to refuel a hot machine such as a lawnmower, wait at least 5 minutes before refueling. Recycle magazines and newspapers so they don't build up in your garage or home, providing fuel for a fire. Hibachis or barbecue equipment should never be used indoors. Burning charcoal gives off lethal amounts of carbon monoxide and can cause death from toxic gas. To start a charcoal fire, use fire starter made of solid material. Be sure the grill is away from flammable materials, such as low porch ceilings, walls, or shrubbery. Smoking continues to be the leading cause of deadly home fires in the United States. Do not allow someone who is confused or has dementia to smoke without supervision, and never leave smoking materials unattended. Before going to bed, check the rug and chair cushions on both sides for ashes that may have dropped accidentally. If a cushion or chair has been burned, move it outside, away from the house, and call the fire department. Upholstered chairs or couches may smolder for hours before breaking into open flame. Use wide ashtrays. Soak the contents with water or empty them into a toilet before going to bed. Never allow someone to smoke in bed or when lying down. He or she could fall asleep with the cigarette burning. Do not store matches or lighters in direct sunlight or near heat sources which could spontaneously ignite them. Teach children that matches and lighters are not toys. You can prevent injury or death from a fire by having working smoke alarms and fire extinguishers installed throughout the home. To avoid panic when a smoke alarm goes off, practice exit drills. In some situations, people are afraid to call the fire department. They delay, wondering if it's necessary. Keep in mind that any fire can quickly become a matter of life and death. Don't hesitate to call the fire department. They are there to keep you, your family, and the person you're caring for safe.